voice sliced through the parking lot, loud and deliberate, making sure every ear caught his accusation. "Where'd you steal this car from? Don't play dumb with me. Step out. Pop the trunk. I know you people are always hiding something." Alicia Harper kept her hands clearly visible on the steering wheel. Her voice stayed quiet and respectful, though her heart pounded with a mixture of fear and quiet resolve. "Officer, I haven't done anything wrong. Can you please tell me?" "I'll tell you what's wrong," he snapped. "You're in the wrong neighborhood driving the wrong car. Now get out before I drag you out and call CPS on that kid crying in the back." One afternoon at a gas station in a neighborhood in Virginia, Alicia had simply stopped to buy snacks for her daughter's soccer practice. The officer saw a black woman in a clean minivan and decided she needed to be taught a lesson. He had no idea who watched from the middle row. By the time this stop ended, his badge would be gone. Earlier that day, Alicia Harper was doing what she did every week, juggling spreadsheets, soccer schedules, and a 9-year-old who could never find her shin guards. She worked as an accountant at a mid-size firm downtown. Numbers made sense to her. They never lied. They never changed the rules halfway through. Today, she needed to get Lila to the park for soccer practice. Simple, predictable, safe. Her phone buzzed with a text from Brandon, her husband. The car would not start. "Can I catch a ride to the gym? I'll figure out a tow later." Alicia sighed. Brandon worked nights. She worked days. They communicated through shared calendars and stolen moments at the breakfast table. This was marriage after 15 years. Not romantic, just functional. She texted back "Fine, but you're sitting in the middle." The girls had already claimed the back. Brandon Harper did not look like a police chief when he climbed into the minivan 20 minutes later. He wore gym shorts and a faded college t-shirt, hair still damp from a shower after another sleepless night shift. He had been chief for only a few months, still learning which fires to fight first, and still figuring out whom he could trust in a department that had never asked for reform. He squeezed into the middle row. The back seats were already full. Lila and her two teammates, Jamal Hayes and Paige Ellis, argued about who played defense better. "Dad, tell Jamal that girls can totally play defender," Lila said. Brandon grinned. "Jamal, girls can totally play defender." Jamal rolled his eyes. "That's not fair. You have to agree with her. That's called marriage, kid." The girls laughed. Jamal groaned. Alicia smiled despite herself. For a moment, everything felt normal. A dad heading to the gym, a mom driving a carpool, kids bickering about soccer. This was the life they had built. Ordinary, unremarkable, and precious. Brandon's phone buzzed. He checked it, and his face changed. The smile faded. Alicia recognized that look. "Work?" she asked softly. "Always something." He answered quietly. She did not push. She had learned early in his career not to ask for details. He told her what he could, when he could. She respected the line between Brandon the husband and Brandon the chief, yet she glimpsed the subject line before he closed the email. Harlan. Complaint number 12. She had heard that name before. Officer Derek Harlan. 15 years on the force. Brandon had been watching him for months, quietly and carefully building a case. She did not know the details. She did not ask. "We need to stop for snacks," Lila announced from the back. "Coach said bring healthy options." Alicia glanced at the dashboard. They had time. Brandon suggested the gas station on the turnpike. "Yeah, quick in and out." The minivan hummed down the road, windows cracked, spring air drifting in. Jamal explained a drill. Paige checked her phone. Lila retied her cleats for the third time. Brandon closed his email and tried to relax. Alicia focused on the road. She had installed a dash cam 6 months earlier after her friend Carla got pulled over and could not prove the officer lied about her speed. Carla fought the ticket for months and lost anyway. Alicia had learned the lesson. Keep receipts, document everything. The camera now sat on her windshield, a silent witness that never stopped recording. She pulled into the gas station. It was a busy intersection, where an older historic neighborhood met newer development, the kind of place where old money and new ambition collided without always shaking hands. She parked near the convenience store entrance. The kids unbuckled, ready to pile out. That was when she saw it. The police cruiser already there, idling near the air pump. Officer Derek Harlan stood beside it, arms crossed, watching her park. Brandon saw him too. His jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Not yet. Alicia turned off the engine. The dash cam kept recording. Harlan approached before she could open her door. His boots crunched on the asphalt with deliberate, slow steps. He was not in a hurry. He wanted her to see him coming. He tapped on her window hard, 3 times. Alicia rolled it down, hands still visible on the wheel. She knew the script. Stay calm, stay compliant, give them no reason. Afternoon, ma'am. Harlan leaned in too close. His breath smelled of coffee and something sour. License and registration, please. Alicia reached for her purse slowly. Officer, can I ask why I'm being stopped? You can ask. Doesn't mean I have to answer yet. He watched her hand move toward the glove compartment. Slow, real slow. She handed him the documents. Everything was current. Everything legal. Harlan studied the license longer than necessary, eyes flicking from the photo to her face and back. He was making a show of it. This is your vehicle, Miss Harper? Yes, sir. Registered to you? Yes, sir. Where are you headed? Soccer practice. My daughter and her teammates. Harlan glanced into the back seat. 3 children stared back at him. Lila's eyes were wide with fear. Jamal sat frozen. Paige gripped her phone. Soccer practice, Harlan repeated flatly as if he did not believe her. In this neighborhood, He walked around the minivan in a slow circle, checking taillights, tires, searching for anything. He tapped the rear bumper with his knuckle. Registration sticker is about to expire. It's valid through June, sir. I said it's about to expire. That's a warning. He returned to her window. Step out of the vehicle, please. Alicia's stomach tightened. Officer, I don't understand. Have I violated a traffic law? I'll determine that. Step out. In the middle row, Brandon did not move. He watched through the gap between the front seats, phone in hand, recording. The angle captured Harlan's face and every detail. Alicia opened her door slowly and stepped onto the hot pavement. The sun beat down. Sweat formed at her hairline. She wore jeans and a plain blue shirt. Nothing flashy, nothing threatening, just a mother in a parking lot. High hands where I can see them, Harlan ordered. She raised them slightly, palms open. Across the parking lot, Carla Mitchell waited for her daughter's practice to begin. She saw Alicia, saw the officer, saw Alicia's hands raised. Carla pulled out her phone and began recording. She did not yet know why, only instinct. Something felt deeply wrong. Terrence Hayes sat 2 cars away, waiting for his son Jamal. He saw it too. His phone came out, angled toward Harlan and Alicia. He said nothing, just recorded. Harlan walked close, inspecting. Are you nervous, Miss Harper? No, sir. You're sweating. It's 90 degrees outside. Uh-huh. Where were you before this? Home. Then I picked up my husband. Then we came here. Your husband. Harlan looked into the minivan and saw a man in gym clothes. No uniform, just a civilian. He there? Yes, sir. Tell him to step out too. Brandon still did not move. He kept recording, waiting for Harlan to violate procedure so clearly that it could never be explained away. Alicia's voice remained steady. Officer, can you please tell me what this is about? Pop your trunk. I'd like to know why. I smell marijuana. Pop the trunk or I'll pop it myself. There was no marijuana. The minivan smelled only of soccer gear and old French fries. Harlan was manufacturing probable cause. Alicia knew it. Carla and Terrence knew it. Brandon knew it. Lila began crying in the back seat, soft at first, then louder. Mommy. Harlan's radio crackled. He pulled it to his mouth. Dispatch, this is Unit 12. I need backup at the gas station on the turnpike. Uncooperative subject. Possible narcotics. Alicia's hands started to shake now. Not from fear, but from the rage she had to swallow, from the humiliation in front of her daughter, from knowing that 11 women before her had filed complaints about this exact officer and nothing had happened. She thought of those 11 women. She forced herself to remember every word of this moment, every detail. The officer demanded a trunk search with no probable cause. Her daughter was crying, witnesses were recording. Harlan stepped closer. His hand moved toward her arm. Alicia drew a steady breath. Officer, I do not consent to a search. I'd like to know what probable cause you have. You don't get to ask questions. I ask, you answer. He grabbed her wrist. Not hard enough to bruise, but hard enough to control. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Officer, please, my daughter is watching. Should have thought about that before you drove around with drugs in your car. There are no drugs in my car. Harlan yanked her arm and spun her toward the minivan. Her shoulder hit the doorframe. Not violently, just roughly enough to make clear who held the power. Lila screamed, not words, just a sound of pure terror that tore through the air. Jamal tried to hold her back as she reached for the door handle, desperate to get to her mother. Brandon's hand rested on his own door handle now. He counted the seconds, waiting for the exact moment when intervention was justified. Not yet. Harlan had not crossed the final line. Carla Mitchell moved closer, phone raised. Officer, I'm recording this. Harlan did not look at her. Ma'am, step back or I'll cite you for interference. I'm a citizen observing a public interaction. I said step back. Terrence Hayes called out from his car. He hasn't told her what she's being charged with. Harlan ignored him. He walked to the back of Alicia's minivan and tested the trunk. Locked. He returned. Give me your keys. I do not consent to a search. You got something to hide? I have a constitutional right. Don't quote the Constitution at me, lady. You think you're smart because you've got a fancy car and a job? You think that makes you special? His voice rose loud enough for everyone to hear. In this neighborhood, driving around like you own the place. Another car pulled in. Lauren Ellis was dropping her daughter Paige off for practice, but she saw Alicia pressed against the minivan and the officer's aggressive posture. Lauren was a lawyer, family law, not criminal, but she knew injustice when she saw it. She stepped out and approached. Officer, I'm an attorney. Can you explain what violation occurred here? Harlan finally turned. And you are? Lauren Ellis. I'm asking what grounds you have for this stop. This doesn't concern you, ma'am. It concerns me when I witness a potential Fourth Amendment violation in public. Last warning, back up now. Lauren did not back up. She stood 10 feet away, phone out, recording. For the record, I'm witnessing this interaction. The subject has stated she does not consent to a search. Harlan's radio crackled again. Backup was on the way. Alicia's breathing came faster now. Not panic, but fierce control. The officer had grabbed her wrist. He had demanded keys without a warrant. Her daughter was crying. 3 witnesses were recording. A second cruiser pulled in, lights flashing. Officer Ryan Caldwell stepped out. He was younger, and he looked uncomfortable. Harlan waved him over. "Need you to secure the vehicle while I search it." Caldwell approached and saw the children in the back. Lila crying, Jamal silent, Paige stunned. His face changed with something like guilt. "Harlan, what's the stop for?" he asked quietly. "Probable cause, the smell of marijuana." Caldwell smelled nothing. No one did. But he did not contradict his senior officer. That was not how you survived in a department where loyalty mattered more than truth. Harlan returned to Alicia. "Last chance. Keys. Or I call a tow truck and we do this at the impound. You have no legal right." "I have every right. You're operating a vehicle in a suspicious manner in a high-crime area." "This isn't a high-crime area," Lauren called out. "I've lived here for years." Harlan spun toward her. "You want to get arrested too? Keep talking." The parking lot had become a theater. 5 adults watching, 3 children trapped inside the minivan, 2 officers, and 1 woman standing alone with her hands raised, because lowering them might be taken as resistance. Brandon watched Harlan's hand move toward his belt, toward the handcuffs. He had waited long enough. Alicia saw her daughter's face through the window. Lila had stopped crying. She had gone silent. That silence was worse. A moment when something fragile inside a child breaks, when trust in authority dies and the world stops feeling safe. Alicia thought again of the 11 women who had filed complaints. She wondered if their children had watched too, if their daughters had learned the same terrible lesson Lila was learning right now. That compliance does not guarantee safety, that respectability does not earn respect, that doing everything right still leaves you vulnerable to someone who decides you do not belong. The officer prepared to handcuff her. No charges had been stated, no rights read, no explanation given. Harlan pulled the cuffs from his belt. Metal glinted in the sunlight. He reached for Alicia's wrist again. The back door of the minivan opened. A man in gym clothes stepped out. Harlan did not notice at first. He was focused on Alicia, on the cuffs, on asserting control. Caldwell noticed. His eyes widened and his posture changed. He took a step back. "Harlan," he said quietly, urgent. "Harlan." Harlan did not hear him. He reached for Alicia's arm. The man in gym clothes walked forward with 3 deliberate steps. His sneakers made no sound on the asphalt, yet something in his movement made Carla lower her phone slightly and made Terrence hold his breath. Caldwell tried again, louder. "Harlan, stop!" Harlan turned, annoyed. "What?" Then he saw the man. Civilian clothes, no uniform, no threat, just someone who should mind his own business. "Sir, get back in the vehicle," Harlan said. The man did not respond. He lifted the hem of his t-shirt just slightly, just enough. A badge caught the sunlight, gold and unmistakable. Harlan's eyes locked on it. The shape, the seal, Richmond Police Department, but not a regular badge. Different design, higher rank. His gaze moved from the badge to the man's face. Recognition hit him like cold water. Brandon Harper, the new chief, the reformer who had been asking questions about complaint procedures and requesting internal files on problematic officers. The one Harlan had hoped would stay in his office and leave street cops alone. Harlan's face drained from sun-flushed red to pale gray. The transformation took only seconds. His hand, still reaching for Alicia, dropped to his side. "Chief Harper," his voice cracked. He cleared his throat and tried again. "Chief, I didn't—" Brandon spoke. His voice was quiet, calm, and lethal. "Officer Harlan, step away from my wife." Silence fell. Complete. Total. Even Lila stopped crying. The world held its breath. Harlan stepped back once, twice. His hands rose slightly in an unconscious gesture of surrender. Caldwell's face had gone white. He knew what this meant. He knew he was witnessing his colleague's career end. He took another step back, distancing himself. Brandon continued forward and stopped beside Alicia. He did not touch her or comfort her. That was the husband's instinct. But right now he chose the badge. He needed to be the chief. "You requested backup for an uncooperative subject," Brandon said. Each word was measured and precise. What probable cause justified this stop? Harlan opened his mouth. Nothing came out. His throat had gone dry. "I asked you a question, officer." "Sir, the vehicle matched a description." "What description? What report? What date and time? What case number?" Harlan could not answer. There was no report. They both knew it. Brandon's voice dropped lower. "You pulled over my wife in front of my daughter. You grabbed her wrist. You demanded a search without consent. You called for backup on a soccer mom buying snacks." He paused, letting the words sink in. "And you did all of this while I sat in that vehicle watching, recording every word, every movement, every violation of procedure." Harlan's hands were shaking now, visible tremors. Carla zoomed in with her phone camera, capturing the exact moment a bully realized he had been caught. Brandon looked at Caldwell. "Officer Caldwell, you're dismissed. Return to your vehicle." Caldwell did not argue. He turned, walked away, and sat in his cruiser with his hands on the wheel, waiting to see how bad this would get. Brandon turned back to Harlan. "My office. Bring your union representative. Bring a lawyer. You'll need both." Harlan found his voice. "Chief, I was just doing my job." "Your job?" Brandon's tone stayed quiet and calm, somehow making it worse. "We'll discuss what your job is and what it was." He turned to Alicia. His face softened just slightly. "Get the kids to practice. I'll handle this." Alicia did not show relief. She did not cry or collapse. She nodded once, got back into the minivan, and her hands were steady on the wheel now. Lila's small voice came from the back, confused. "Daddy, why was he mean to Mommy?" Brandon did not answer. He was still watching Harlan. Later, at police headquarters, Officer Derek Harlan arrived early. He sat in his truck in the parking lot, engine off, hands on the wheel, staring at the building he had walked into for 15 years. Today it looked different, hostile, as if it had already decided he no longer belonged. His union representative, Captain Victor Lang, met him at the entrance. Lang had 28 years on the force. He had seen officers survive worse, or so he told Harlan. "Keep your answers short. Don't volunteer information. We've got you." Harlan nodded, but his uniform shirt was already damp with sweat. They walked through the building. Other officers saw him. Some nodded. Most looked away. Word traveled fast. Everyone knew what had happened. Everyone knew the chief's wife. Everyone knew Harlan was finished. The waiting area outside Brandon's office held 4 chairs. Harlan sat in one. Lang sat beside him. They waited. No one offered coffee. No one made small talk. The secretary typed and never looked up. The door opened. "Chief Harper will see you now." Brandon's office was larger than Harlan expected. Clean desk, American flag in the corner, framed commendations on the wall, and one other person, a woman Harlan did not recognize. She was in her late 30s, black, sharp suit, no smile. Brandon gestured to 2 chairs across from his desk. "Officer Harlan, Captain Lang." "Captain, this is Detective Vanessa Ruiz, Internal Affairs." Harlan felt his stomach drop. This was not a conversation. This was an investigation. Ruiz sat beside Brandon. She had a thick file in front of her. She opened it slowly, deliberately, letting Harlan see the tabs, the pages, the documentation. Brandon spoke first. "Officer Harlan, you're here regarding the incident at the gas station on the turnpike. Do you recall that interaction?" "Yes, sir." "Before we discuss it, Detective Ruiz needs to provide some context." Ruiz turned pages, found one, and slid it across the desk. "Officer Harlan, are you familiar with the Internal Affairs complaint process?" "Yes, ma'am." "Are you aware of how many complaints have been filed against you during your tenure?" Harlan hesitated. "A few. Standard for street patrol." 11, Ruiz said flatly, factually. 11 separate complaints spanning 6 years. She pulled out more pages and slid them across one at a time like dealing cards. Each one a separate life, a separate incident. Complaint number 1, Monique Lewis, high school teacher. You stopped her for a broken taillight, except her taillight wasn't broken. Investigation found insufficient evidence. Case closed. Harlan said nothing. Complaint number 3, Denise Parker, dental hygienist. You detained her for 45 minutes and called in a K9 unit because you claimed to smell marijuana. The dog found nothing. She missed her son's birthday dinner. Investigation found you followed proper procedure. Case closed. Ruiz's voice never changed. No emotion, just facts. She continued through every one of the 11 complaints. 11 women, 11 times the system had said insufficient evidence. Harlan shifted in his chair. Lang put a hand on his arm. "Stay quiet." Ruiz closed that section and opened another. "These complaints showed a pattern. So I ran your traffic stop data. Would you like to know what I found?" She did not wait for an answer. In an 8-month period, you conducted 63 traffic stops. Do you know what percentage of those stops involved Black or Latina women? Silence. 89%, 56 stops. And of those 56, how many resulted in citations or arrests? More silence. 5 citations, 51 stops where you detained someone, questioned them, sometimes searched their vehicle, and then let them go. No ticket, no arrest, no explanation. Ruiz pulled out a map and slid it across. Here's where those stops occurred. See these 3 neighborhoods, historically Black, working-class areas? 94% of your stops happened in zones that make up only 8% of your assigned patrol area. Harlan's jaw tightened. Lang leaned forward. "Detective, correlation isn't causation. These are high-traffic areas." "They are not high-crime areas," Ruiz interrupted. "I pulled the data. Violent crime in those neighborhoods is actually below the city average. So why is Officer Harlan stopping nearly twice as many vehicles there compared to his wealthier patrol zones?" No answer. Brandon spoke now. Let's talk about the gas station stop. Officer Harlan, I watched the interaction. I recorded it. So did 3 civilian witnesses. Would you like to see your own body cam footage? Harlan looked up. My body cam? Yes. The one you're required to activate during all civilian interactions. The one that uploads automatically to cloud storage. The one you can't delete. Ruiz opened a laptop, turned it toward Harlan, and pressed play. Audio filled the room. Harlan's voice, loud and aggressive. Where'd you steal this car from? Then Alicia's calm response. Then Harlan again. You people are always hiding something. On camera, with a timestamp. Undeniable. The video played every demand, every escalation, every violation of procedure. Harlan watched himself grab Alicia's wrist, call for backup with no justification, reach for handcuffs. The video stopped. The room fell quiet. Brandon closed the laptop. Officer Harlan, you violated 4 separate departmental policies. You conducted a stop without reasonable suspicion. You demanded a search without probable cause. You used physical contact without necessity. And you requested backup under false pretenses. Harlan finally spoke. Chief, I followed my training. Your training doesn't include racial profiling. You people, that's what you said, on camera, to my wife, in front of my daughter. Lang tried to intervene. Chief Harper, with respect, this is a single incident taken out of context. 11 complaints isn't a single incident. 63 stops isn't context. This is a pattern. Ruiz opened another section, the thickest one yet. Let's talk about metro towing. Harlan's face went gray again. In the past 3 years, you've called metro towing for 47 vehicle impounds. Do you know who owns metro towing? Silence. Dale Whitaker, your brother-in-law, married to your sister Diane. And do you know what metro towing charges for an impound? $380 base fee plus $95 per day storage. Ruiz pulled out bank statements with highlighted entries. These are your personal bank records, subpoenaed this morning. Deposits from Whitaker's side company, $8,500 over 3 years, always within 2 weeks of you calling his tow truck. Total, $52,000. The number hung in the air. Harlan's hands started shaking. He gripped the armrests. Lang's face had changed too. He had not known about the money. The union protected bad cops, but it did not protect criminal enterprise. Officer Harlan, Brandon said, you are on administrative leave effective immediately. Turn in your badge, your service weapon, your department vehicle keys. You are not to enter any department facility without authorization. A formal investigation is underway. You'll be notified of further proceedings. Your badge, officer. Harlan reached to his belt. His fingers fumbled. The badge fell, hit the desk. He tried to pick it up and dropped it again. Ruiz picked it up for him and set it in front of Brandon. Harlan stood. His legs were not steady. Lang stood with him. They walked to the door. Brandon's voice stopped them. Officer Harlan, 12 complaints now. 12 women who knew something was wrong. 11 of them were told the system didn't care. My wife was number 12. The difference is this time someone was watching. Harlan left. The door closed behind him. He walked through the building past officers who would not meet his eyes, past the duty desk where he used to joke with dispatchers, past the parking lot where he used to feel safe. His hands were still shaking when he reached his truck. Soon after, the union called a press conference on the steps of City Hall. Captain Victor Lang stood at the podium in dress uniform, medals gleaming. Officer Derek Harlan is a decorated veteran with 15 years of exemplary service. He has received multiple commendations. He has served this community with distinction, and now his career is being destroyed because of one incident involving the chief's family. The word family landed heavily, intentionally. We support reform, but we cannot support a process where personal relationships compromise professional objectivity. When an officer's career hinges on who he unknowingly interacted with, that's not justice. That's a dangerous precedent. Technically defensible, politically strategic, it reframed everything, making it about Brandon's marriage instead of Harlan's misconduct. By afternoon, several outlets ran the same angle. Chief's wife traffic stop raises ethics questions. Police union questions impartiality, personal or professional. Chief under fire. Not one mentioned the 11 prior complaints. Not one talked about body cam footage. Not one asked about the $52,000. Alicia saw the headlines during lunch, sitting in her car and reading articles that made her the problem. Her supervisor had called her that morning. Gentle tone, concerned face. Alicia, maybe take some personal time until this blows over. The firm doesn't want to appear to be taking sides. Political situation. That was what they called it. She said she would think about it. She would not. Her phone buzzed with unknown numbers and vicious texts. Your husband set Harlan up. Race baiting won't save his job. Delete. Block. 11 complaints. Maybe those women should drive better. Delete. Block. You got your chief to railroad a good cop. Hope it was worth it. She stopped checking. That evening, Brandon stood in the driveway. Someone had spray-painted his personal car. One word in red. Rat. He filed a report. He did not expect anything. The responding officer was polite and professional, but Brandon saw the resentment, the rank and file closing ranks. Alicia found him there. We can repaint it. It's not about the paint. She knew. It was the message. You broke the code. Brandon turned. I can drop this. Desk duty for Harlan. Quiet resolution. No hearing. No media. We could... No, Brandon, no. Her voice was firm. 11 women before me stayed quiet or got nowhere. If we stop now, what do I tell Lila? That we only fight when it's convenient. His phone rang. Unknown number. He ignored it. It rang again, different number. He turned it off. Upstairs, Lila had not slept through the night since the stop. She woke crying from nightmares about the police, about her mother disappearing. Alicia sat with her until she fell back asleep, then lay awake counting the hours. Alicia's inbox filled with messages, half supportive, half vicious. She stopped reading after the first 10, but one email stood out. Subject, I was stopped too. Sender, Monique Lewis. Alicia opened it. Ms. Harper, I saw your name in the news. I filed a complaint against Officer Harlan years ago. They said there was insufficient evidence. I had my 16-year-old daughter in the car. He searched it anyway, tore apart her backpack. Found nothing. She cried the whole way home. I'm a teacher. I teach respect for authority. How do I do that when authority didn't respect me? If you're fighting this, I want to help. I kept records, photos, receipts. He thought I'd forget. I didn't. Alicia read it 3 times, forwarded it to Detective Ruiz, and replied, Thank you. You're not alone. Neither am I. By the end of the week, more emails arrived. Different women, same story. Harlan had pulled them over, questioned them, searched them. released them with no explanation. Most had never filed complaints. They had not thought anyone would listen. Now someone might. A local reporter, Elena Vargas, published an article. Suspended officer's history. 11 complaints, all dismissed. Someone had leaked the internal affairs files. Ruiz would neither confirm nor deny. The story included stop data, the map, the percentages, quotes from 3 complainants, names, the towing scheme, and the money. Suddenly, the narrative shifted. It was no longer about the chief's wife getting special treatment. It was about a system that had protected a problem officer for 6 years, while dozens of women suffered silently. Comments filled with more women sharing stories, not just about Harlan, but other officers, other stops, other humiliations. A pattern was emerging. Alicia sat at her kitchen table that night, with Brandon beside her. Lila had finally fallen asleep upstairs. 23 women's emails lay open on her laptop. 23 voices saying the same thing. We thought we were alone. We thought no one would believe us. We thought complaining would make it worse. Brandon looked at the screen. What do you want to do? Alicia thought about Lila's nightmares, about the spray paint, about her supervisor's gentle suggestion to disappear. Then she thought about Monique Lewis, about a 16-year-old girl crying in a car, about 11 complaints dismissed, about 56 women stopped for no reason. I want to fight, she said. Brandon nodded. Then we fight. But neither of them knew yet how dark it was about to get. One night, a week after the gas station stop, Lila woke up screaming. Alicia ran to her room and found her daughter sitting up in bed, eyes wide, breath coming in gasps. The police are taking you away. They're putting handcuffs on you, and I can't stop them, and you're gone. Alicia held her, rocked her. It's okay. I'm here. I'm right here. But what if they come back? What could Alicia say? That it would never happen again? She could not promise that, not honestly. Not while the system that had protected Harlan for 6 years remained intact. Daddy will keep us safe, Lila whispered. Alicia felt something break inside her chest. Her daughter should not have to rely on her father's rank for safety. That was not how it was supposed to work. She stayed until Lila fell back asleep, then went downstairs and sat at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. Brandon found her there in the early hours. You okay? No. He sat. They did not talk. What was there to say? Their daughter was traumatized. Their community was divided. His department resented him. Her job threatened to push her out. And they were doing this because it was right. Because someone had to. But right did not make it easier. Lila went back to school. During lunch, she sat with her usual friends. Then Tyler Morrison walked by. His father was a police officer who worked with Harlan. My dad says your mom is a liar, Tyler announced loud enough for 3 tables to hear. She got Officer Harlan fired because she doesn't like cops. Lila's face went red. She did not respond. She did not know how. Tyler continued. My dad says your whole family hates the police. Even your dad. He's a traitor. The teacher intervened and sent Tyler to the principal, but the damage was done. Lila came home quiet and withdrawn, unwilling to talk about her day. That evening, she asked Alicia a question that cut deeper than any spray paint. Mommy, do you hate the police? Alicia's throat tightened. No, baby. I love your father. I respect people who protect us. Then why did you get Officer Harlan in trouble? He did something wrong. He was mean to me for no reason. That's different from hating all police. Lila was 9, too young to process institutional racism, too young to understand the difference between criticizing actions and condemning people. She just knew her world felt dangerous now. "I wish you didn't say anything," she whispered. "Then everything would be normal." Alicia went to her bedroom, closed the door, sat on the edge of the bed, and cried. Not quiet tears, but full sobs that left her empty. She had brought this into their home. She could have stayed silent. She could have driven away from that gas station and absorbed the humiliation like the 11 women before her. She could have protected her daughter from nightmares and schoolyard cruelty. Her phone rang. It was her mother. "Baby, I saw the news. Maybe you should let this go. These people have power. They can make your life difficult." "They already are, Mama." "Then why keep fighting?" Alicia did not have a good answer, just a memory of her father, 10 years gone now, teaching her at age 12. When someone's wrong, you speak up, even if your voice shakes, even if you're scared, because silence is consent. She was scared now, her voice shaking, but she heard her father's words. One afternoon, Alicia sat in her parked car outside Lila's school, crying again, alone, the lowest she had been since this started. Her phone buzzed. An email from Monique Lewis, then another from Denise Parker, then Brianna Patel, then 17 more women she had never met, sharing stories, offering support, saying the same thing. "Thank you for not staying quiet." Alicia read every email, wiped her face, took a breath. Brandon texted, "You okay?" She replied, "No, but I'm not giving up." That evening, Alicia wrote an email to reporter Elena Vargas. Subject: "I want to tell my story." She hit send before she could change her mind. Days later, the newspaper published Alicia's interview on the front page. "I was stopped for driving while black. What happened next changed everything." The article was long and detailed, Alicia's words unfiltered. She talked about Lila's nightmares, about the spray paint, about her supervisor suggesting she disappear. But mostly she talked about the 11 women who came before her. "This isn't about my husband's job. This isn't a personal vendetta. This is about a pattern. 11 complaints filed. 11 times the system said insufficient evidence. I'm complaint number 12. The only difference? Someone with power was watching. That's not justice. That's luck." Within 48 hours, 23 more women contacted the newspaper. Same officer, similar stories, same outcome. Dismissed, ignored, forgotten. Monique Lewis, high school English teacher, stopped years earlier, her daughter 16 at the time. Harlan searched their car for 30 minutes and found nothing. Her daughter missed a college interview. Monique filed a complaint and received a letter 3 months later. Insufficient evidence. Denise Parker, dental hygienist, stopped another year. Harlan called a K-9 unit, claimed he smelled marijuana. The dog found nothing. She sat on the curb for 45 minutes while he went through her trunk. She missed her son's birthday dinner, filed a complaint. Officer followed proper procedure. Brianna Patel, graduate student pursuing a PhD in molecular biology, stopped on a Tuesday afternoon, stone sober. Harlan made her recite the alphabet backwards, walk a straight line, touch her nose with her eyes closed. Then he let her go. No ticket, no apology, no explanation. She had not filed a complaint. She thought it would not matter. She had been right. Until now. Carla Mitchell created a change.org petition. Fire Officer Harlan. Reform stop protocols. Create independent oversight. She shared it on the soccer parents group. It spread to other groups, other networks. By the following weekend, it had thousands of signatures, local, national, international. A community meeting was held at a church on Broad Street. 150 people showed up. Standing room only, news cameras in the back. Alicia spoke first, calm and factual. The same quiet power she had shown at the gas station. I'm not special. I'm lucky. Lucky that my husband had power when I needed it. But justice shouldn't require luck. It shouldn't require knowing the right person. It should be automatic for everyone. 17 women stood and shared their stories publicly for the first time. Not just about Harlan, but about other officers, about stops that felt wrong, about searches that violated rights, about humiliation in front of children. The media coverage shifted completely. This was no longer a chief's wife controversy. This was systemic, documented, undeniable. Lauren Ellis, the lawyer from the parking lot, stood. I'm offering pro bono legal representation for civil rights claims. Anyone who wants to file suit, I'll help coordinate. Terrence Hayes announced he was organizing a second meeting in a bigger venue. We're done being quiet. Councilwoman Rachel Hayes attended, sat in the back, took notes. The next morning, she filed a motion. The city council would hold a public hearing on police accountability. Open testimony followed by a vote on Officer Harlan's employment and departmental policy reforms. The motion passed. 23 women, thousands of signatures, 150 voices in a church, and finally a hearing. The system was being forced to look. 4 days before the hearing, Detective Vanessa Ruiz received an email. Sender, Officer Ryan Caldwell. Subject, you need to see this. One attachment, a PDF, 3 pages. Ruiz opened it and read the first line. Her coffee went cold. She forwarded it to Brandon immediately and called him 30 seconds later. Chief, we need to meet now. Not at the station. They met at a diner on the edge of town, empty except for 2 truckers and a waitress who did not care who they were. Ruiz slid her laptop across the table. Caldwell sent this an hour ago. He's been carrying it for 14 months. Said he couldn't sleep anymore. Brandon read the internal memo from Captain Victor Lang, then district supervisor and now the union president, the man defending Harlan on television. The memo listed several officers and was titled Q2 Performance Metrics. Gentlemen, our tow contracts are underperforming. Metro Towing needs 45 vehicles per month to justify their city contract. Current numbers are at 28. We need to improve. Focus enforcement on the Turnpike Corridor, South Side, and East End neighborhoods. High vehicle value, low legal pushback from residents. Remember, odor of marijuana remains sufficient probable cause under state law. Use your judgment. Quota expectations. Minimum 6 stops per week. Minimum 2 tows per month. Failure to meet benchmarks will be reflected in performance reviews. Brandon read it twice, then looked at Ruiz. This isn't a rogue officer. This is institutional design. It gets worse, Ruiz said. She opened another file. We did forensic extraction on Harlan's phone. Text messages, he kept everything. She scrolled. Harlan to another officer. Lang wants 12 stops this week. The Turnpike is easy pickings. Soccer moms don't lawyer up. Another. She complained. Don't worry, union will handle it. Date matched one of the 11 complaints. Another. New chief is a problem. Asking too many questions. Lang says keep our heads down. Racist language. Explicit, clear bias. Undeniable. Ruiz closed the laptop. City Controller finished the financial audit yesterday. Metro Towing paid $680,000 to the city over 3 years. Contract revenue. Harlan received $52,000 from Whitaker. 3 other officers got a combined $87,000. And Lang, he's clean? His brother owns the storage lot Metro Towing uses. Guess how much rent? $120,000 over 3 years, paid by Metro Towing. The chain was complete. Lang created the pressure. Officers made the stops. Tow company got the vehicles. Money flowed back through family connections. Everyone profited except the women stopped for no reason. Brandon sat back. We're not firing one cop. We're dismantling a conspiracy. RICO is possible, Ruiz said. Federal civil rights violations are certain. I already contacted the FBI. By noon, the story broke nationally. Virginia Police Department accused of quota-based towing scheme targeting minority neighborhoods. By afternoon, the ACLU issued a statement on systemic civil rights violations. By evening, the Department of Justice announced a preliminary inquiry. By nightfall, Captain Victor Lang resigned as union president, issuing a statement through his attorney. Administrative oversight, no criminal intent, cooperating with the investigation. No apology, no acknowledgement, just lawyer speak and retreat. Harlan's attorney called Ruiz that night. My client wishes to discuss cooperation in exchange for reduced charges. Translation. Harlan would testify against Lang to save himself. The hearing was days away. The evidence was overwhelming. The system could no longer ignore this. 23 women, thousands of signatures, 1 leaked memo. Justice does not always come fast, but sometimes it comes completely. The city council hearing filled the chambers. 53 people, 6 cameras, all 9 council members present. Councilwoman Rachel Hayes gavelled to order. We're here to address allegations against Officer Derek Harlan and vote on departmental reforms. Chief Harper. Brandon stood, uniform pressed, voice clinical. He was the chief tonight, not the husband. On that afternoon, Officer Harlan conducted a stop without reasonable suspicion. He demanded a search without probable cause. He used physical contact without justification. He called backup under false pretenses. All documented on body cam, civilian recordings, and my witness testimony. He paused. This is not isolated. This is a 6-year pattern. Detective Ruiz projected the data. The audience heard her describe 11 complaints, 63 stops, 89% Black or Latina women, $52,000 in kickbacks, and the memo established quotas targeting specific neighborhoods. She read it aloud, every word. The chamber went silent. Mrs. Alicia Harper wishes to testify. Alicia approached, hands steady, voice calm. I'm an accountant. I work with data. The data says I was stopped for my skin color, but data doesn't show my daughter crying. Data doesn't measure her nightmares. She looked at each council member. 11 women before me complained. The system said, not our problem. I'm number 12. The difference? My husband has power. That's not justice. That's luck. Her voice hardened. Fire Harlan if you want, but if you don't change the system that protected him, I'll be back in 2 years with 23 other women. Applause erupted. Councilwoman Hayes gavelled. Monique Lewis spoke next. I teach respect for authority. How, when authority didn't respect me? Denise Parker. I missed my son's birthday for a quota. Brianna Patel, master's degree, asked to recite the alphabet backwards at 2 in the afternoon while stone sober. Harlan's attorney read a statement. Harlan was absent. Officer Harlan regrets any perception of impropriety. He served 15 years. He requests the council consider his full record. Councilwoman Hayes interrupted. His record includes 11 complaints, $52,000 in kickbacks, and texts calling minority women easy pickings. What should we consider? No response. Another council member tried. We can't destroy a career over one incident. 11 incidents, 63 stops, 23 victims. Councilwoman Hayes corrected. When does pattern become policy? The member went quiet. Votes were called. Terminate Officer Harlan's employment. 7 in favor. Suspend other named officers pending federal investigation. Unanimous. Policy reforms. Mandatory body cams. Quota prohibition. Civilian Review Board. 8 in favor. Gavel fell. Officer Derek Harlan, your employment is terminated effective immediately. This council adopts the new ordinance. Alicia's face showed no triumph, just exhaustion and relief. Outside, she shared hugs with Monique, Denise, Brianna, and 15 others. No celebration, just acknowledgement. They had won. But it should never have taken a police chief in the back seat for the system to listen. Sometime later, at the same gas station and the same pump, Alicia filled her tank. Lila sat in the passenger seat now, 10 years old and growing up faster than Alicia wanted. A patrol car pulled into the lot. Different officers, young and professional. One waved. Afternoon, ma'am. He kept driving. Lila watched him go. Mommy, was that okay? Yeah, baby. That was just a police officer doing his job. Silence, then. Is it safe now? Alicia paused. She could lie and make it simple. But Lila deserved the truth. It's safer. We made it safer. But we have to keep watching. The outcomes were mixed. Harlan had been fired. Criminal charges were pending. Plea deal negotiations dragged on. Captain Lang was under FBI investigation and had resigned. Pension at risk. 3 other officers had been suspended. 2 resigned, 1 fought termination. Metro Towing lost its city contract. Dale Whitaker faced civil suits from 23 women. But the real change was the new ordinance. Body cams mandatory. Footage public within 72 hours. Quotas banned. Civilian Review Board established with subpoena power. Annual bias training required. Not perfect, but better. Alicia finished pumping and got back in the car. Lila asked another question. Did it help? What you did? Alicia thought about the women who had thanked her, about mothers who could now drive without fear, about the officers who now knew someone was watching. Yeah, it helped. She had thought it was just another ordinary afternoon. She had been wrong. But because she refused to stay silent, the next afternoon might actually be just another afternoon for everyone. If this story meant something to you, share it. Not for clicks, but because patterns only change when people refuse to look away. Your voice matters. Your refusal to accept injustice matters. The gas station is still there. The police still patrol. But now so do the cameras and the people behind them. One of the most powerful lessons this story teaches us is that silence may feel safer in the moment. But courage is what truly changes lives. Alicia could have chosen to stay quiet, to protect her peace, to avoid the pain, the judgment, and the fear that came after speaking up. But by refusing to accept humiliation and injustice, she did more than defend herself. She opened the door for many other voices to be heard. That is the beauty of bravery. Sometimes your strength is not only for you, but for everyone who has suffered in silence before you. Life will often place us in moments where doing the right thing costs us comfort, relationships, or even peace of mind. Yet real change is born when ordinary people decide they can no longer look away. Alicia's story reminds us that dignity matters, truth matters, and one voice, no matter how shaken, can become the beginning of something much greater. It also reminds us that justice should never depend on luck, power, or privilege. It should belong to everyone. So if you are going through something painful right now, remember this. Your voice has value, your pain is real, and your courage may be the light that helps someone else survive their darkness. If this message touched your heart, tell me in the comments. Would you have had the courage to speak up? And if you believe stories like this need to be shared with the world, subscribe to the channel and stay with us for more meaningful lessons that inspire strength, truth, and hope.